Everyone, this is Mr. Brass, and I wanted to give a restatement of my position on my pro-life stance. Now, I've come more to hate being called pro-life because of all the misconceptions that come with it. You know, pro-lifers, in my opinion, get this ridiculous notion that if in order to be pro-life, you have to support X, Y, and Z liberal policies. Even though, in my opinion, I feel that those liberal policies go against the pro-life message in some aspects. Good intention means jack shit in some ways if the results are not in. But I mean, that's not entirely to say that intentions don't matter. They do, to a certain extent. I believe intentions, they all factor into virtues. And they factor into, and I believe consequences should serve an epistemic sort of point where, it's a factor of consideration, the ends. But that's it. Now, I believe like this. I believe personally that pro-lifers get this weird stick where they're told that, if you can't be a pro-life if you don't hold X, Y, and Z policies or whatever. And I've said before, it's stupid because would anyone accept this coming from Confederates to abolitionists? If Confederates said, well, you can't really be anti-slavery if you're not personally willing to provide black people work, housing, food, clothing, etc., and also medicine, would we consider a Confederate saying that to an abolitionist as anything else but worthy of just mocking and laughing at Confederates boldly to their face? That's what, but anyway, I will say that sort of thing has had an effect on me where personally I prefer to just call myself anti-abortion or an abortion abolitionist. Meaning, I want to abolish abortion laws. That's where my stance really is. That's where the ultimate goal is for me. Saying that you are an abortion abolitionist carries no other weight to it. Now, some people will say, well, you're just co-opting slavery language in order to make a moral point. I'm like, no. The term abolition, while the term abolition was never just applied to slavery. An abolitionist was someone that believed any law should be abolished. Slavery was a law, and there were people that wanted it to be abolished, so they called them slavery abolitionists. With me, I just consider myself an abortion abolitionist. And that's sort of just where I stand on that matter. I do ultimately believe, though, that making laws illegal will not, in of itself, do anything. You have to have a sort of culture of life that you breed into it. And I personally found that until we slit the throat of gynocentrism and we make women own their shit, no matter how difficult and how hard that maybe seem in our culture, that's just what we need to do. We have to slit the throat of gynocentrism and watch it bleed out. Chivalry, while it is often said that it is dead, it is not. It's on life support, kept alive primarily by conservatives and feminists, funny enough, who both seem to agree on the value of it. I believe the MRA movement and MGTOW will and should be the force that puts the bullet to the head of chivalry and gynocentrism and takes it off life support and finally puts an end to that barbaric feudalistic belief system that has required men to sacrifice their lives for very little in return. So, I believe there's a 3-step plan that I would like. 1, we have to value men more. And to value men more, you have to kill gynocentrism and you have to kill chivalry. And you have to, in my opinion, institute a culture of life where it actually means something to some extent. And you have to value responsibility and justice, no matter if taking on responsibility comes with great personal price. Everything has a price, and responsibility is one of those things that we're fine with forcing on people. And I believe until we have that, until we have that, we're not going to really get much of anywhere. Well, that is all for today. This is Mr. Brass saying goodbye and get wise.